I read something this morning that opened my eyes. If you're into nutrition and health, this might resonate with you. Do you feel like there are so many different avenues and diets and things to try, things that have worked for people? As somebody who has studied a lot of different things, I find that whatever I'm studying, I'm like, I understand that, I see that, I resonate with that, I believe that. And it's led to like a lot of confusion, and I feel like a lot of disconnect for me from my body, from what does my body truly actually want, and how does that shift and evolve? Because as your body shifts and evolves, your needs shift and evolve. I'm reading this book that I cannot recommend enough. It's called The Yoga of Eating. It is a book that I just feel so seen and heard listening to. I mean, I've highlighted just so many things. It is a really beautiful, holistic book talking about mind, body, spirit in terms of eating. I read a chapter that really hit for me. Some of the things that I read made me reflect on a time in my life where I fell into a dogmatic way of eating. This chapter is about discovering the right diet. There is no one right diet for everybody. There is no one right diet for you. Your diet will always shift and evolve and change, and should always shift and evolve and change with you. As you shift and evolve and change, your diet should shift and evolve and change as well. Your needs change, your desires change, your cravings change, your body is communicating these changes and desires and needs with you. And it does take some practice to be able to learn how to hear that communication. It does require too a sense of trust with your body and yourself. And it does take time to cultivate, but it is possible. It is inherent to all of us. So I wanted to share a little bit about this chapter and my story and my resonance with the things that were said and the reflections that I had from that. It was mainly these 2 pages that made me just like, I read it and my eyes went wide and my jaw went, oh my gosh. And then I ran to my journal and just dumped. But basically what's being said on these pages is it's talking about different diets and how confusing they can be. The chapter starts off with, okay, first of all, why I love this book is it has little quotes for each chapter, starting it off. The quotes for this one are, "As soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live," by Joanne Wolfgang von Goethe. Goethe? I don't know how to say that. Goethe. And the next one, by Mark Twain. "Be careful about reading health books. You may die of a misprint." And the first sentence of the chapter says, which I highlighted and wrote a little arrow and said, "Me," underlined. "When people take responsibility for their own health and begin to investigate various dietary philosophies, they often end up very confused." That was me. I studied so much nutrition, holistic health, detoxification, a little bit of Ayurveda. I really tried things out in my own body. I got 2 certifications, one in nutritional therapy and one in regenerative health. After all of that, after trials and tribulations with my own body, finding the world of detoxification, really dedicating and devoting my time and energy to healing my body through a certain protocol, a certain diet, which I found, results in. It got me out of chronic illness. But about a few months ago, when 2025 came around, I started to feel very confused, very, very lost in all of the information that I had gathered, in all the things I had studied, wondering, well, what's right? And still kind of experiencing some, imbalances in my body that once went away and then came back. And I was just so confused. I felt like I had so much information. I had spent so much time studying and I couldn't really understand my own body. And it drove me a little crazy. So when I read this, I knew this chapter was gonna hit for me, which it did. I will go on. It talks about the body and its communication with you and how wise it is in discovering the messages of your body and how you can do that through eating food and being present with your food, the things that you might notice from its communication. And it also says when you can actually hear your body and listen to it, it will guide you to the right diet for yourself in whatever phase of life you're in. I'm just gonna read you my journal entry, okay? My mind has just been blown. This chapter about discovering the right diet for you and what I just read really opened my eyes. It talked about not being dogmatic in your diet and way of eating, that it will and should shift and change as you do. Quotes. This is an excerpt I grabbed from the book that hit. If you stick dogmatically to any diet, even one that was perfect for one phase of life, you may deny your body the raw materials it needs to carry transformation forward. The next one that hit me. Be especially careful with cleansing diets such as veganism, raw food, macrobiotics, which often bring excellent short-term results but may not support the body's building phase. Next, do not be afraid to let go of a diet when it no longer serves you. These 3 quotes really hit me because it made me reflect and think about my short-term excellent results that I got from the cleansing diet that I did. And during that time, that was the best I ever felt physically. Mentally and spiritually, I was feeling good too. But wow, I had never experienced physical health and vitality like that. It's true. But it was the first time I was feeling the weight of the heavy inflammation and waste off of me. It was unlike anything I had felt before, especially coming out of a solid 8 years stuck in pain, agony, anxiety, and stress. I moved home, I stopped working, I stopped drinking, I completely shifted my diet, I stopped eating meat, I got rid of the chemicals in my environment and food, I started consuming superfoods and herbs, I was going to bed early, I was meditating, I was moving my body, I was getting sunlight, etc., etc. But I really connected those two together, my diet and that vitality, when really it was way more than my diet. But that was the stage and phase of life I was in. I was cleansing. I mean, I was really deep cleaning house. And it served me so well. It got me out of chronic illness. It gave me hope. It gave me health. It gave me vitality. But things shifted, as they do. I was no longer in a cleaning phase. I was in a building phase. And that transition didn't go too smoothly. And I was not in deep trust with my body and giving it what it needed. The connection was just a bit offline. It was more of a one-way than a two-way call. I stuck to that diet in times I don't think my body wanted me to. I was definitely having urges to eat things I wasn't eating during that phase of my life, and that ignoring of my raw materials it needed to carry transformation forward. Which also led to feelings of guilt and shame for maybe having those foods, exploring those foods, having the urge to have those foods. I was really dogmatic in my diet, which didn't work sustainably. I've become really aware these past few months, really since 2025 started, and just of how dogmatic my unconscious dogmatic approach to how I was eating and the lifestyle I was living was contributing to imbalances in my health, my vitality, my happiness, my relationships. There's just so much. All to be said, I have been taking action through a lot of awareness and really allowing myself to explore foods or explore things that I once didn't eat or I once didn't include. I'm really making a conscious effort to really listen to my body's communication with me, to not deny myself of real and raw materials and desires, to trust my intuition, to trust my body, and to further develop my relationship with myself, my body, my environment, with food, really checking in with my body, canceling out outside noise, canceling out outside opinion, and just really coming back to my body. What does my body want? What does my body need? What phase of life am I in? What am I craving? What am I desiring? While also continuing to stand in and believe in the information and education that I have learned and embodied and explored and studied that do feel resonant with me, that do feel solid and good with me and my body. Because I cannot deny my lived experience. I cannot deny the things that I've learned. I cannot deny past teachings. I can't deny my lived experience, you know? I'm taking this moment to also check in and maybe also offer you a check-in with how is your body feeling? Does it feel like it's building right now, or does it feel like it's cleaning right now? Our bodies tend to go through these cycles of cleaning house, of building. We are connected to nature. We also go through seasons, as does nature go through seasons. Our seasons are very direct and correlated to seasons of the earth. You know, we're in summer right now. Is that playing a role in how you're feeling in body and mind and spirit? Taking that into account. Do you feel like you're very inward and reflective right now? Or do you feel like you're very outward and expressive right now? Do you feel like low energy, wanting to kind of stay at home and hibernating, you know, retreat? Or are you feeling excited and outward and expressive and energized and inspired, you know? Taking these things into account, because the diet that you eat is so much more than the food. So much more than the food. What season of life are you in? What are you craving in mind, in body, and in spirit? And to reiterate to myself and to you, whoever's listening, we go through changes. We evolve. Look outside at nature. She evolves as well. We are nature. There is not one right way to eat for you or for me. And allow yourself to take in information and education and apply it, embody it, see how it feels for you. What does your intuition tell you? What does your gut tell you? And leave what doesn't resonate. Leave what doesn't feel good. Don't be afraid to let go of something that no longer feels good for you. And think of nutrition and diet way more than just micro, macro, healthy, not healthy. We also need to take into account joy. What foods bring you joy? What foods feel good in your body? Pleasure. Your beliefs and values. What do you value about your food? What do you believe about food? How do you view food? So, discover the right diet for you, which will never be one diet. Discovering the right diet for you is so much more than we've been told. You know, maybe after this video ends, take some time to sit with your body. Maybe close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths, feel your body. You know, get into your body. Ask it. What are you craving right now? What season of life are you in? Do you feel like you're building or cleaning? Do you feel inward or outward? And just listening, just feeling, just allowing yourself to be, and let whatever comes up come up. It's a practice, and it starts with practice.